Wherever you are.
Just want to make sure it's actually going live. Hello. How is everyone? Can everyone hear me? Just going to give everybody a couple minutes to join. How's everybody doing this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are? Give me some hearts, give me some likes. Let me know you're excited for day 2. Give me some hearts, give me some likes, let me know. All right, I just want to give everybody a couple minutes, gather your things. If you haven't grabbed your worksheets yet, go to the Files tab. Grab some water, grab some coffee. All right, here we go. So welcome back to From Crisis to Cash Flow. Today we are going to be talking about working your numbers in your relationships. Yesterday we really talked about how we can connect with our communities to garner business. And I do want to start off by kind of telling you guys a little story. I felt like that was just yesterday was something that I just really want to reiterate and make a priority. So before I moved out to Arizona, I worked for this little diner. It was called Leon's. And this place was awesome. One of the best things about it was that it was a community. So where I'm from in Michigan originally, we have the largest population of people from the Middle East outside of the Middle East. And I will say my favorite part about that, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I could see. My favorite part about where I grew up was the Middle Eastern community. The biggest thing to them was community and family. Now, this restaurant, I'm going to give you guys a little background story. The owner literally knew every single person's name. Every single customer that came in, he greeted himself. Hello, how are you? He knew their kids' names. He knew their grandkids' names. He knew what they did for a living. And those people came for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. Now, at the time, I was waiting tables there, and almost instantly, I had regulars, people who cared about me. I cared about them. Those people came back every single day to see me. At some point in time, I had asked the owner, I said, hey, George, would it be okay with you if I started selling pies and brownies? I know right now we're buying frozen stuff. I'd really like the opportunity to make them myself for you so that you could sell, a fresh made pie and brownies. And he said, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Well, the pies took off and they were great. But it got to a point where it was just taking me too long to execute what we needed, and we just didn't really have the space to be able to do that. But the brownies, on the other hand, did amazing. I literally sold them for $1 a piece. And what I did was, this is a little secret, but they were Betty Crocker brownies. I added some special things inside of them to make them special. But what I did is I went to Walmart. I talked to the guy who was stocking the shelves. I said, hey, dude, you do me a favor. Will you call me when these boxes go on sale for 50 cents? And just let me know, and I'll come in and I'll buy up a bunch. He said, yeah, no problem. So he would call me. I would go in and I would buy cases and cases of these, right? And then I went over to Aldi. I don't know if you guys know what Aldi is, but it's just it's a little grocery store, and they had the best little frosting containers. And I did the same thing there. I said, give me a call when these go on sale. And they said, yeah, no problem. So to make 36 brownies, it cost me $4. $4. I made a $32 profit on each batch of brownies. In 4 months, I made $5,000 on brownies. And you want to know how I did it? It's because I was connecting with those customers every single day. They wanted to support me. They were excited to support me. They loved what I was doing. They would be calling me and they would say, "Can you make 3 batches for me so that I can stick them in my freezer just in case I can't get here?" Even though they knew they were going to come back here the next day and the next day and the next day. At some point during my time there, I was injured. It was a cook's first day. I was putting stock away. So I was on a ladder and he came in and he set a pot of boiling sauce on the floor while he reached to grab the walk-in door. Now, why he did that, I don't know. I still don't know to today, but I stepped backwards and I stepped right in it. And I had to have multiple surgeries. I had to have a skin graft. I was off work for 6 months. And those customers put a jar out for me. And every single day, my roommate would come home. She worked there too, and she would say, "You officially made more money than I did today." They paid my way because they cared about me, because they knew I cared about them. When I decided I was going to move out to Arizona, I finally got back to work, and I was going to be working for about 4 or 5 months. I started selling brownies again, and I was able to put a down payment on my truck and move out to Arizona. And it was all because they supported me in it. My last day there, my last shift, there was a line out the door of customers who wanted to come in and say goodbye to me. They were giving me gifts, gas cards, and just saying, "Rebecca, we are behind you. We're cheering you on. We love you. We support you. Thank you for being a part of my family for the last 4 years." And they helped pay my way to get here. So I wanted to go back to really connecting with your community because I just felt like it just needed one more shake. I just really wanted to get it through to you. Right now, especially, I think people are in a position where they're really focusing in on the things that matter. How many times do you see a Facebook post that says something like, I built a puzzle with my family last night. That's what we did together yesterday. And you know what? I don't remember the last time we did that. I think people are really focusing on what matters: family, community, their health. That's how you're going to need to connect with your community. People need to trust you right now. They need to know that their safety is your number one priority. They need to know that you care about them just as much as you want them to care about you. I did mention yesterday to pick up the phone and call people and just ask them how they're doing. I can't stress that enough. I really can't. What made me even think to tell this story yesterday is, I called my dad after the live and I just said, I felt like I needed to reiterate it more. And he was the one that kind of brought it up to me. He goes, "Think about Leon's. Think about that. Think about how impactful that was for you." And I was just like, "You're right. That is customer service. That is how you need to be connecting with people. That right there is what is going to separate you from the rest." I promise you, because the food there, it was good. I'm not going to play it, I'm not going to say anything bad, but it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't, gourmet. It was pot roast, It was chicken and mashed potatoes. It was a soup bar. But people came because they felt like they were part of a community. People came because they felt like this was their family, because we treated them that way and they treated us that way. At my going away party, it was like 90% my customers and then my friends and family. So I just wanted to tell you that story so that you guys could hear a couple things. How can you really be connecting with your community? And then how can you be resourceful? Now, I was selling pies and brownies. Pies weren't working. I cut them out. Brownies were it. Brownies were the hit. Brownies were the least amount of time to create with the biggest profit. And people loved it. I was meeting a need. People wanted it, and it was awesome. It was a great way for me to fund me moving to Arizona. So being resourceful right now is really, I think, key to making sure that the cash flow is coming in and that your bottom line stays in the positive. Do what you know, okay? I can't stress that enough. Do what you know and do a great job at it. Guys, right now, I stressed it yesterday. I'm going to stress it again. I really, really, really feel like this is a huge opportunity. I really do. I think it's an opportunity to serve your community. I think it's an opportunity to build the business of your dreams. I think it's an opportunity to take ownership back of your business and get intimate with it. When I was executive chef of the catering company, the one thing that I think separated me from a lot of other chefs or just people in the industry was that I knew intimately every aspect of that business. Every day I spent time in the pastry department. I spent time in cold side, hot side, the dish room, operations, sales, staffing, doing all of my other jobs too. And that was how I was able to manage it so efficiently, was that I was intimate with each aspect of the business. I knew how to go in and solve the problem because I knew how to manage it. I knew what was going on. And I think, for a lot of us, I just want you to take a minute and think back to, before all of this happened, how intimate were you with your business? If the line cook called in sick, could you jump on the line? If your front of house manager couldn't be there, did you know how to manage the front of house? Could you jump behind the bar? I think right now I've heard a lot of you guys say things to me like, it's just me and my wife, or it's just me and a couple employees, and I think that's okay. I really do. Because if you want to build the business of your dreams, you're going to have to know every single aspect of it so that you know how to hire the appropriate people, you know how to manage the appropriate people, you know how to see the insufficiencies that are occurring every single day, and you know how to offer solutions. I know so many people are like, I don't know, so-and-so has just been doing this for the last 10 years. I don't even know what it is they do. I'm just grateful they do it. And then I walk away. So right now, it might be the opportunity for you to become the chef, become the driver, become the to-go packer, become the dishwasher. Get intimate with your business. Go back to the basics of it all. Put your blood, sweat, and tears into it right now so that when we come out of this and we come out stronger, you know that you did that. You know that you were the leader behind all of that. I used to spend every single day in the dish room as executive chef, every day. And you want to know why I did it? Because I wanted them to know that I knew how to bleed with them. But I also went in there to show them how it could be done more efficiently. So when they would come back to me, they would just say, I don't know, I'm just in the weeds, I can't figure out. And I would say, well, it's because you didn't stack everything together the way it should have been. You're allowing people to come into the dish room, just throw things anywhere. Tell them to organize it. Tell them to put all of the 200 pans here. Tell them to put all of the sheet trays here. Get a soap bucket for your utensils. The only reason I knew how to tell them how to be more efficient is because I worked it. It's because I figured it out. And I think that's what you guys are going to have to do right now. Get intimate with your business so that you can build the business of your dreams. You know, I had this employee, her name was Deja, and gosh, she was a good one, a little firecracker. I loved her. And when I was getting ready to leave, and I was starting to let all my employees know, hey guys, I'm going to be leaving in 18 months. I'm building a consulting business. She was young and she just didn't know what that meant. She said, "What is consulting?" And I said, it's kind of like a coach. And she said, "Oh, I get it. Coaches don't play on the field." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "Wait, but you play on the field." And I said, "You're right. I do play on the field." And she said, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because if you bleed, I bleed with you, and vice versa." That was very inspirational to me because I knew that that's what I wanted my business to stand for. I didn't necessarily love the word consultant. I had this kind of idea in my mind of what a consultant was. Maybe it's just a couple of people that come in and they point at a bunch of things and they say, "That's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong." And then, "I'll take my money now. This will be this much money." And I knew I didn't want that. I knew I didn't want that. And so when she said that to me, I said, "That's great. I needed you to say that to me because I know that that's what my brand stands for." What does your brand stand for? What do you want people to feel when they enjoy your products and services? What do you want people to say about you? Is it being translated through your branding, through your marketing, through your social media? Finding people, somebody had mentioned yesterday that they had taken back their social media because they just were feeling like the people they had hired weren't saying it how they wanted it to be said. They weren't portraying the brand how they wanted it to be portrayed. And I totally get that. I totally 100% understand that. My marketing team knows that I have to approve everything that goes out. They know that. If I'm not physically writing it, I need to see it before it goes out. Because although it's very rare that they don't get it right. I promise you that. They're amazing. And by the way, guys, if you need help with your marketing, let us know. I have a whole team ready and available. Okay. That's just one of the services we offer. Okay. So let me know. Email me at info@takingthewheelconsulting.com. We can let you know what we can do for you. Okay. But, going back to that, having people on your team that understand your brand and can say that, it's such a rare find. So I totally get that. And I applaud you for taking that back and standing up for what you stand for, because it is your business. And I think that took real leadership. So I was happy to see you say that. Okay. Now we're going to go back to, this is an opportunity. If you make it an opportunity, it's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but this is an opportunity. Right now, people don't know what to do. People are worried about how they're going to get food to their steps, right? I said that yesterday. I'm going to say it every single day throughout the next 3 days. People don't know how they're going to get food in their homes. You have the opportunity to be a hero in this. You have the opportunity to serve your community in a way you will never have another opportunity again. Okay, and I know I said this yesterday. I'm gonna keep saying it because I want to inspire you. I want you to feel that. I want you to take that in, let it flow through your veins. You have an opportunity to be a hero and the leader that this community needs from you. This industry. We know that this industry needed a makeover. We addressed that already. Okay? This is it right now. This is the time we can change. And that's why we are all in Leadership Revolution together. That's why we're doing this right now in this group together. Because we are going to come back strong. We are going to come back better. And we're going to do it together. When we, at the catering company, every summers, I think I mentioned this, it pretty much died down to nothing. We were seasonal. We let our employees know, by the way, when summer comes, there's not going to be any work. So a lot of the employees got laid off. It was just a small group of, management and salary teams that would stay on. And when we would shut down, this was real opportunity to take a look at what was working and what wasn't. We were so busy just getting through, the events and the season and the day, that really making big changes, big financial decisions, it was hard during season. So summer, that's what we did. It was all about numbers. It was all about fixing insufficiencies, creating new systems. That's what we did. So right now, I want to talk to you about what you can be doing. Okay. Today is all about taking action while business is slower. Building your foundations, right? Making sure that everything is working as profitably as it possibly can. So first things first, how do you currently track your numbers? Okay. Do you have, your P&L? Are you doing this daily? Are you looking at everything? What your utilities, your rental equipment? How much do you spend on your dish machine? Are you leasing it? When was the last time that you looked at how much you were spending? What's your food and beverage costs? What are your labor costs? Your disposables, your chemicals? All of those things were what we would spend a lot of time in the summer just massaging and getting perfect. Although we tracked numbers all year long, trust me, we did. This was the time to make the changes necessary. Those big changes that we couldn't necessarily implement during season. Maybe it was because, we had already sold an event this many months out in advance, and, it was really important to us to honor that price point and things like that. So summertime was when we would take a look at that. This is how I was able to have an 18% food cost for the entire year, a 14% labor cost. There were big events where I ran 8, 9, 10% food costs. And it's not because I sacrificed quality by any means. It's because I tracked every single thing. I got it. I negotiated with my vendors. I got everything down to a perfect science. Portioning was spot on. And in the summer, that's how I made those plans. This is how I'm going to do it. This is what system I'm going to put in place to make sure that I can continue to do this next year. So what are some things that you guys can be lowering right now that you haven't, thought about? Trash pickups, right? Are you using as many, are you filling those dumpsters as fast as you were before? Have you cut down to once a week? Or gotten rid of 2? Maybe you already had 3 dumpsters and a couple of recycle bins because you were that busy. Maybe, now's the time to have 2 of them taken out. That's going to cut on some costs that you're probably not thinking about. Do you have a landscaping service? Maybe instead of once a week, you cut it down to once a month. Now, you don't want your actual facility to come, crumbling down. So you're going to have to keep, things up. But, maybe that's a service that you don't need right now that can help you buy product or keep an employee on more hours. Some other things, hiring platforms. You're probably not advertising that you're hiring right now. So have you taken down those ads? I know, during season, we keep those running all year long. all year long, just, because the perfect person might just pop up and we're like, wow, we could use somebody like that person. So we keep those ads just running constantly. Have you, canceled those subscriptions? I know even at home, I went through, a few weeks ago, I went through and I'm like, why do I have 3 music apps on my phone? I just kind of forgotten that I even had those things. So now is just a really good time to sitting down, thinking about the things that, we don't necessarily need and getting rid of it, right? House. Now, going back to what does your brand stand for? Getting really familiar with your target market. What do they need? What do they need? They need food delivered to their doorstep. But what kind of food? Who's your market? Is it families? Is it the elderly community? Is it all of the above? I hope it's all of the above. I hope it's a mix of everybody so that you have an opportunity to feed anybody and anybody out there in your community right now. Somebody mentioned yesterday that they're concerned about offering more than just menu items, such as eggs, yogurt, things like that. So what I did yesterday, now I can't give you legal advice and I'm not going to give you legal advice, but I can give you this information. I called the Attorney General here in Phoenix. I called legal aid here in Arizona. And I called the health department. I spoke to 2 different inspectors yesterday. The one thing that they said to me is, I can't answer your question on if you can sell these things, but what I can tell you is that people are, and I don't really know how restaurants are going to stay open if you're not. That was the answer I got. I can tell you that there's tons of restaurants out there that are offering market goods. So I do think that you have the opportunity to be the one-stop shop that everybody needs right now. I was even thinking about something yesterday and I was thinking, what about like apparel? Clothing. Even if it doesn't have, even if you're not trying to sell like your brand on it, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have cool little socks. Moms still need to clothe their kids right now, and it's hard to get things delivered from Amazon sometimes right now. I know I'm struggling with some deliveries with things that I would just normally order from Amazon. Maybe you can start offering those kinds of things. I just had that thought, and I just wanted to share it before I forgot. But I want to tell you this too, okay? I think things are going to continue to change, and we are just going to have to adapt with this delivery type service. I don't think it's going away. I don't think it's going to be something that blows over. I think this is something that is just going to be the way it is moving forward. My dad, he lives in Michigan, and they're the 3rd largest hotspot for the coronavirus in the United States. One of the things that they're getting ready to do is eliminating people. Well, the talk is that they're going to eliminate people being allowed to go into the grocery stores at all. It will only be available for delivery because they just can't control it. Even limiting the amount of people, even spacing people, with tape on the floor, they just can't control it. So that's, these are places that people are congregating. And it's not helping to reduce the numbers, which means that people are going to have to get their supplies, get their food from somewhere. Restaurants, this is your opportunity to be that for people. Grocery stores can't keep up with the deliveries. I know a friend of mine the other day said, the grocery store said that the next time they can deliver to me is 5 days from now. What if you're out of food in your house? That's not an option. So restaurants, I really want you to take that into consideration right now. Things are going to continue to change and evolve and pivot. And I don't know that we've even seen the worst of it yet. I know we haven't. So getting really familiar with your target. What do they need? What price point are you looking at for them? I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Who your target market used to be is probably not the same group of people right now. They've changed. Their situations have changed. What they used to be able to afford, they can't anymore. You know, every year in the summer, we would take a look at, you know, what is the trends right now? What are people looking for? You know, we did a lot of weddings because we owned a venue. And we would, you know, one year it was like, oh, just want to go crazy. They want everything and everything. The more, the better. Elaborate, elaborate, elaborate. And then the next year it was, you know, brides they're all wanting to be on a budget. They don't want to spend that kind of money on a wedding anymore. So we would have to change all the time, evolve all the time with what our market needed. You know, I needed to be able to offer, you know, just a chicken and a pasta, bread and a salad, and that was it. And it was buffet. And then the next year it could be, you know, family style with, you know, 5 different courses plus action stations and, you know, the whole 9 yards. So where is your market right now? What do they need from you? How much can they spend? And start building around that. Meet them where they are. Ask those questions. Hey guys, such and such restaurant here. We're just curious, you know, what would be something that, you know, you guys, what kind of meal would you guys want? And what kind of price point are you looking at us meeting? We'd love to build you guys a custom menu. See what's on social media, see what people say. They're going to tell you. Ask the questions. Get comfortable with your community. Connect. Nurture that relationship. You know, I said yesterday, you know, having a subscription style service like a Hello Fresh, but 10 times easier. I mean, I know myself, I would be like, yeah, sign me up, right? Especially when I'm busy, and I don't even have time to think about dinner. How great would it be for me to be like, all right, honey, here's a 1 skillet meal, dump it all in the saute pan, it'll be ready in 15 minutes, or just something you can throw in the oven. You know, really thinking about how we can be involved in every meal and every situation that could possibly come up. Now, in order to meet them where they are, you have to have certain relationships, right? Your vendors, your suppliers. Who do you currently have? Who are your current vendors and suppliers? What kind of relationship do you have with them right now? When I was executive chef of the catering company, my vendors knew who I was. But might even be in this room right now, because they knew that my expectations were here. They knew that I expected them to meet them, and then above from there, they knew that I wanted nothing but the best quality. They knew I was always going to be searching for the best price. They knew I was going to call them out when the prices would rise for no reason. I was constantly holding my vendors accountable, and they knew. They would say, oh, don't even send this in. She's not going to accept it. I'll call her and ask her if we can sub something else out. She won't accept that. My driver would come in and Kevin, and he would be like, I didn't even bring the case of romaine in. I already called our buyer. They're going to bring you out another 1 hour. It just wasn't up to your standards. And I would be like, thank you. Those were the kinds of relationships I had with my vendors. So negotiating, I hope that all of you know that you can definitely negotiate pricing. And if you don't, start now. I would have, every month I would sit down with my vendors and I would say, let's talk about where we're at with certain things. Okay. Is there a chicken that is the same quality, but that I can get for less, for less? And they would list off 10 different items to me. Yeah, you've been ordering a cleaned chicken portion 7 ounce already. I can sell you the same thing that's not clean. You can save a lot of money. And I would look back and I would say, yeah, I think we're in a position right now where we can clean it, and that'll still make sense, labor versus food cost at the end of the day. Yeah, let's try that. Give me a sample of that. So what things do you need to start negotiating? Tomatoes, chicken, disposables, beer, wine, your services, your hood cleanings, the whole 9 yards. What can you start negotiating right now? I was queen for when something would come in. Every single time I got a delivery, entered the new price into a spreadsheet so that I was continuously tracking everything that ever came into my doorstep. And I don't care if a case of canned tomatoes went up 15 cents. I was on the phone going, why did this go up 15 cents? Is this the new price? Is it just what the market's doing right now? Are you just trying to increase pricing on me? Because that happens. Listen, I love my vendors. I not that I work with them anymore, but I love them and I respect them. But there is, this has to work for both parties. It is a game that we play with one another, right? So I would be asking them, why did this go up 15 cents? And they would come back and they would say, you know what? Let me see what I can do about that. Why did the case of chicken that we already negotiated go up, $3? The more that I held them accountable, the more that I called them out on my pricing, the less I had to worry. Are things going to start creeping? Because that happens. We know that, right? We sit down, we start negotiating, we got a better price on this, and then all of a sudden this starts rising, right? So the more you hold your vendors accountable, the more you call them out, the more you ask questions, the less that's going to happen. Now, markets change, and especially right now, you should be having virtual meetings with your vendors and your suppliers, your salespeople. And you should be asking them, before I put this on my new beautiful reworked menu that I'm going to be offering people, are the prices going to continue to rise? What are the trends right now? What's happening? They're going to be able to help you with that and kind of walk you through what items they feel like are going to stay kind of leveled out for a while. And what are just something you shouldn't even offer at all. I used to ask to piggyback off of programs. I would say, okay, is another program that somebody else with higher buying power has that I can piggyback off of? They'd probably kill me for saying this, but is there? I did it with my uniforms. Is there somebody else that already has a program and all it would do would change, my 6-ounce salmon to a 7-ounce salmon, but it would bring the cost drastically down? What is there anything I can piggyback off of, or deviations? Hey guys, just so you know, I order, I think with all of the restaurants from memory, all of the restaurants and the catering company combined, ordered $70,000 in bacon a year. So I said, what can we do about my bacon? This is how much I'm ordering. What can we do about it? They said, okay, we'll hook you up with a deviation. It saved us $10,000 a year just for asking the question. Just for asking. You have to be in control of this. You need to take this back. You need to be the one saying, hey, I'm looking for the best price possible with the best quality. What do you have for me? Holding them accountable. You can still have a wonderful relationship with your vendors while doing this. I had an old vendor just text me last night, just filling me in on what was going on, and and where they're at, and they're doing amazing right now. They just picked up these schools, they just picked up this and that, and they're still offering the best quality. And he was just filling me in. But you don't think that him and I had very honest conversations during our relationship? Absolutely. Why is this like this? This is not acceptable. What else do you have to offer me? Where can we, what kind of price point can you meet me at? It's a professional working relationship, and I just want to stress that to you guys, that your vendors need you just as much as you need them in order for this to work. So it needs to be a partnership. Having expectations is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. I remember sitting down with our produce company one day, and they came to me and they said, thank you. And I said, for what? And they said, you raised the bar. You raised the bar for us. You forced us to get it together. You forced us to do better. You forced us to accept nothing but the best, because you held us accountable every single day, and we're a better company because of it. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, thank you. That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said. Okay, so having those relationships with your vendors is going to be key right now. Things are kind of all over the place. Building your new menu, you really want to be building it around what is available and what you can continue to serve. Okay, change is going to be good, pivoting is going to be good, but you do want to have some that just doesn't change, right? You always have this kind of, you always have this product available. You always have this dish available. So making sure that you're negotiating those prices, and you're making sure that they can continue to supply those things to you, that's going to be really important. Okay, let me make sure I'm on the right track. All right. So going back to your vendors and your suppliers, even though I had wonderful relationships with my vendors, and I would never have left them ever, because I respected what they did. They respected me. It was a wonderful relationship. I had multiple suppliers. I had 3 different produce companies. I had 2 different main food service providers. I had 3 different disposable companies. Chemicals, I think I could only get from one place because it was part of our leasing agreement, right? But I had 5 different specialty vendors, 4 different bread companies. And the reason I had all of those things is that, in catering, we could have, we booked this event 6 months ago, let's say. We promised them that menu. I don't want to change it on them. So I never wanted to feel like I was backed into a door. I was getting pushed. What am I trying to say here? That I couldn't offer them what it is that they wanted. So in case my main food service provider, for whatever reason, is completely out of, this chicken this week, I knew that I could go to my other one and make sure that I could get it from them. If produce, the zucchini and squash, my main company, zucchini and squash, just didn't look great this week for whatever reason, their delivery is not up to par, I had another one waiting that I could always go to. And I'm going to say that right now, I think it's really important for you to have multiple suppliers, to have multiple vendors. I know companies that are doing really well, and they aren't having any issues with getting everything in that they then supply their customers. But I know a lot that are having a really hard time getting certain things in. So shopping around and creating new partnerships and new relationships is going to be really important, because you don't want to get into a situation where you can't get the food you need to be able to serve your community. Reach out to some local farms. See if they can grow certain items for you. Going back to supporting your community, these smaller farms, these smaller suppliers, there's small disposable companies out there, and beer and wine suppliers as well. create some partnership with them, because at the end of the day, you're asking your community to support you, which means you need to support them back. And they're just as much a part of it. They're struggling too. And also too, people love knowing that you're going local. People love knowing that, you know, you're supporting your local farms and stuff. That's a way for you to let them know, like, listen, guys, moving forward, we are going to go local as much as we possibly can. And these are the 5 different things we're getting from them. And on top of it, we're selling it, right? There's a olive mill, or olive oil and olive mill out here that we used to sell their bottles of olive oil, their bottles of balsamic. We were supporting them because they supported us. Now, did I get olive oil from other areas too? Sure, of course I did. Having as many options available to you is only going to make you stronger and more reliable, so that you can be that company that is the one-stop shop, so that you can be involved in every single kind of event and meal and gathering that these people are having. Hopefully it's not more than just their family members. Yes, of course we can make that birthday cake for you. Yes, of course we can create those pizza kits for you. Yeah, of course we can do a build your own Pizookie. Of course we can offer you a subscription meal service that gets dropped off, twice a week. Of course we can offer you that 6-pack carrier case. And of course we can offer you that 12-pack of, mixed craft beers. You want me to drop off a family meal to your grandparents? We would love to do that for you. Being the one-stop shop, okay? This is your opportunity to be the one-stop shop that this world needs. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's so true. What are some things that you guys can be doing that you already do really well? Maybe you had to kind of switch up some of your menu items. Maybe you were a steak restaurant and you realize that your market just can't afford those kinds of things anymore. But maybe the marinade on the steak was what made it special, what made it different. Maybe you have an amazing chimichurri. Can you be selling that? Hey guys, we're offering all of our marinades. All you have to do is pour it over, your chicken or your steak at home, and your meal is going to be transformed. Dressings. I remember the best salad I've ever had in my life was just a little baby gem, and it had this amazing dressing. There was literally nothing else on it. I don't know if like angels came and sprinkled this dressing over this lettuce, but it was so good. If I could buy that dressing right now, I literally would put it on everything. So if that's something you guys do well, sell it. Sell what you do well, because you're only going to get one chance to do it right. If you don't do a good job right now, people are so particular. You have one opportunity to kind of win them over and nurture that relationship and have them be a part of your team, have them be a part of your family. So doing things that you're really good at. Maybe you guys make great salsa. It's not even a menu item. You just make really great salsa. Hey guys, we're selling, our salsa. It's by the, half quart, and we'll throw in a bag of freshly fried tortilla chips. You can also pick up some of our guacamole, and while you're at it, we'll give you, a little flyer on what our subscription meal service looks like. Sauces, if you have like the best cream sauce out there, sell it. Now it's your opportunity. Now is it. The next thing that I want to, kind of talk about, and I've said this before, I'm really only successful because I surround myself with 2 types of people: experts and people who want to be experts. But both of them have to have one thing in common, and it's heart. Right now, as you guys are trying to navigate how you're going to rebuild this business, or what you guys are going to be doing differently, think about the types of teams you want behind that brand that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into. Right now, there's a lot of amazing rock stars available that weren't necessarily before. I mean, I know for a while with our catering company, it was really hard getting people that met a certain level of skills or had certain availabilities. The pool just was really, really small. There was more jobs than there were people available to work those jobs, which meant that it relied heavily on the upper management teams. Now's an opportunity for you to build the team of rock stars you're going to need, and they're available for you. So I really want you to start thinking about that. Who do you want behind you? Who do you guys need right now? Start small. You're going to have to start small. I realize that a lot of you, don't have, the income coming in right now to hire anybody. And some of the employees you've already laid off, you want to be able to hire them back. But before you do anything, I just want you to start getting your head wrapped around, who do you need behind you? Like for me, I have a whole marketing team for a reason. It's not my thing. I know that the only way I'm going to let people know that I have services to provide is by getting out there on social media, is by making sure that my brand is getting out there and reaching the communities I needed to reach. I don't know how to do that. That's why I have a marketing team. So maybe that's something you need to consider. How before all of this happened, who were the people that you knew every single day you couldn't do this without? And who were people that you could have? What were you lacking before this happened? Did you have, a really amazing executive chef, but, maybe the front of the house always just kind of felt like it wasn't up to par? Did you have, people who were tracking your numbers for you? Were you tracking them yourselves? Did you feel like you were always on top of what was coming in and what was going out and where your finances were? It's an opportunity right now to build the team of your dreams. I'm taking that opportunity too. I just took on two more team members because there are rock stars out there, and I want to surround myself by them. I know that I can offer more with the more experts I surround myself by. That's what I want to be doing. So start thinking about that. Start writing it out. One of the things that we would do in the catering company too in the summer is we would take a second and we would say, okay, here's what I think we need moving into next season. Based on the menus that we've created, based on the types of events people are expecting from us, this is how many people I need in each department, right? I need to start with whatever, I'm making numbers up, but 3 people on hot side, 3 people on cold side, 4 people in the bakery, 3 people in operations. I need to start with at least 6 different event managers. I need, the list goes on and on. 3 dishwashers plus a weekend crew. Start navigating that right now. Start writing that out. What do you need right this second to be able to start building your business? And then where do you need it to go from there? Get your head going on your teams, because I promise you, the stronger your teams are, the more successful you're going to be. True success lies in the success of your teams. Okay. So we're going to go through a little recap. Okay, yesterday we talked about connecting with our communities to garner business. We talked about all the different ways you can be doing that. Today we talked about using our time wisely, using this little bit of downtime wisely to get really intimate with our business, really familiar with what's coming in and what's going out, making sure that our brand is strong and that we know what that means and what that stands for. Making sure that our customers know what we stand for, our community knows, it recognizes us. We're getting really familiar with our market and what they need. We're negotiating our cost of goods. And overall, we're learning how to meet our market where they are so that we can be the one-stop shop that this world needs. Because I'm going to say it again. They need you. What used to be a luxury, going out to dinner, ordering from a restaurant, what used to be a luxury for a lot of people is now a necessity. And the more that you have to offer, the more you have to serve. I want you guys to write down all the different things that you guys think you can be selling and serving so that you're fulfilling those needs for people. Take a look around. What's on your, even if it's not going to be on your current menu, what's in your current inventory that you could turn into something that people would want? When it sells out, it sells out. Hey, I got a lot of frozen blueberries. It's not going to be on my menu, but I can make blueberry muffin batter, and I can sell it to you for you guys to be able to scoop and bake it at home. We'll even give you the little cupcake liners. Done. It gets off the shelf. Instead of dead money sitting on your shelves, it's money coming in. Be reasonable right now, though. Okay. Meeting your market where they are is also understanding where they're at financially too. The more you can connect with that, the more you're going to be exactly what they need. Does that make sense to everybody? Am I making sense to everybody? Give me some hearts. Give me some love. All right. So tomorrow we're going to talk about how to execute this new reworked business. Okay. We're going to dive into really the different ways I think will help you run that, that perfect food cost number. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on things that I've done in the past that I think are going to really help you get the food in and get the food out efficiently and effectively and profitably. Okay, so I'm really excited about tomorrow, talking about making sure that you really are that one-stop shop. Okay, so I'm going to give you some solutions. We're going to talk about all the different ideas that we've come up with over the last couple days and how we can actually execute that build your own Pizookie safely and profitably. Okay, so yesterday, it's the giveaway time. Yesterday, we gave away 2 Leadership Revolution textbooks and 2 Leadership Revolution workbooks, and I'm going to announce the winners. So yesterday's winners are Kelly Culbertson and Audrey Graff. Both are amazing rock stars and wonderfully powerful women who I admire a lot. And they won because they invited the most people into this group. I mean, it was just constant, like invite. And I appreciate that so much because what we're trying to do here is build a leadership revolution, okay? I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. One person can make a difference, but an army of leaders can change the world and make this industry better than it has ever been. Okay, so the same thing today, guys. The same thing today. I'm asking you guys to invite as many people that you know need to be in this group right now. that you know could learn something from all of us, who needs support, who needs to be in a community because they're lost and they need help. So I want you to invite those people in here, because I know that we are going to be able to turn this around. I know that we're going to come back stronger and better than we have ever been. We're going to do that together. Okay? So today, what I'm going to be doing, there's going to be one winner, because I want to be able to give back to the community. I'm going to donate $100 to a nonprofit of your choice. Okay, so the more people you invite, the more chances you have to win. If there is not a nonprofit that you have a preference on, I'm happy to pick it for you. Okay, but this is something that I think is going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to, and what I'll do is I will donate it in your name, and we'll announce that winner tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we talked about the profitable execution of our reworked business, and for our giveaway tomorrow, this is going to be really exciting, so make sure you're here tomorrow. We are going to be doing a designed graphic for your own Facebook ad. We're going to donate $50 to your Facebook ad. You can increase it if you want. We're going to design the graphic. We're going to help you with making sure that you're hitting your target market and your audience and who you want this to sprinkle to. Okay, so that's going to be really, really, really exciting. So I hope that I answered some questions today. I hope that this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you're just feeling really lost right now, and you want to talk to me or one of my team members, email us, info@takingthewheelconsulting.com, private message or direct message. I don't know which one it's supposed to be anymore. I can't keep up, but do both. Okay, or ask questions in the group, guys. I want this to be a place where we can all talk to each other. I want this to be a community and a support system. Okay? I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys tomorrow. Cheers!